guys, welcome back. So today I have a fun tutorial for you guys. I'm going to be teaching you how to do a simple but very effective cord cutting ritual. This video is going to be included in my Thriving Through Psychic Attack spiritual course. My course is coming out next month around October 15th. That's all about defeating psychic attack and healing through it and all of that. And if you're interested, you can go to my website, sirensnectar.com, for more information. But I wanted to show you guys how to do this because cord cutting is so necessary. I think it's a skill that any witch should have. And it's very important if you're trying to sever energetic ties with someone, or maybe even worse, you feel like someone has been trying to deliberately tie themselves to you, attach themselves to you, do love bindings, things like that. And it's just a really good tool to have when you want to be done with someone, okay? So for my supplies, I am using a black candle to represent the person that my client is trying to detach from. And I'm using a white candle to represent my client. And I already took a bamboo skewer and inscribed the names of each person on the candles. So I'll set that to the side. And then I have my cord cutting oil. I ran out of dropper bottles, so I'm just using a little airplane liquor bottle and a dropper. But it's my very effective cord cutting oil. I use this all the time in rituals and I love it. It works. And then some scissors, some thread, any color is fine. I just happen to be using blue, and some matches or a lighter. I prefer matches because they're more natural, but whatever floats your boat. Okay, but like I said, and a plate, of course. I already inscribed the names of the people. Okay, and I cleanse everything that I'm using with incense smoke. That's very important, because you don't know who touched the candle before you, who touched the plate before you, things like that, and you just want the energy to be fresh for your ritual. Okay? Sorry, I'm trying to get comfortable here. Okay. Alright, my little feet are squeaking on the floor. Okay. So, I'm going to take a match, or like I said, if you want to use a lighter, that's fine. And a little trick that I like to do to attach the candles to the plate is I just warm up the bottom here. And, oh, sometimes it makes a mess. My hand slipped. And stick it in the wax. Okay. And then we're going to take our thread. If I can find the end of it here. There it is. And as you're doing this, you're making it very clear to your guides, your ancestors, whoever you're calling upon to help you in this work, that you are wrapping these threads between these two candles to represent the energetic ties between you and someone else, or your client and someone else, etc. And I like to use a lot of thread because I feel like it just deepens the ritual a little bit, because everything in magic is symbolism, right? And I just keep wrapping it like this, setting my intention that these threads represent the existing cords between my client and this person that will soon be broken. And this is not a baneful work, you guys. You can do this and not hurt the other person. They might feel a little miffed that your energy is no longer intertwined with theirs, but other than that, it's not baneful. Okay? And so I just set my thread like that. And then I'm going to take my little scissors and cut. Okay? Next, I'm going to shake up my cord cutting oil. I believe this is available on my website. If you order this from me, it will come in a dropper bottle. It's just which is, we use what we have on hand, okay? This was a Margaritaville tequila bottle. But it's my cord cutting oil. It's got all types of banishing herbs in here. Really good for clearing and resetting and things like that. And then I'm just gonna, I'm pretty generous when I use oils, so I'm gonna take a good bit and put it all over the candle on each side, making sure that it gets into the thread as well. Okay. And then I put a little bit in the middle like that, over the threads. Okay. And like I said, you can use pictures if you want to. Since we're doing kind of a cord cutting and we're removing something, I just like to use the names, but it's whatever you want to use. And you're just going to pray over it. You're going to ask it to peacefully and safely remove any energetic cords, tying the cords between these two people. And you're going to ask the divine to help you with this and help gracefully remove them. Okay? And then you're going to take your match or your lighter. Line up each candle. Resetting your intentions. Now, most people, I'm going to talk for a little bit while this burns down a little. Most people will leave the ritual like this. However, something that irks me when people do that is a lot of times, if you look in the middle here, where the cords are connecting, there will be remnants. For example, this bottom thread right here, it might still be attached, and I don't like that shit. Okay? When I want to cut cords, let me show you what I do. You could either do this with your scissors, but I feel like that's not very safe since this is like plastic and there's fire. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show spirit, I'm going to show the divine I'm serious, and I'm going to take a match. And I'm going to go right here down the middle and cut those cords myself. Now the ones on the bottom can be kind of tricky. At that point, I'll just leave my match like that and let it do the work. I'll do one on the other side as well. But you can literally, especially if you're doing this for yourself, you can feel when you go in there in the middle like that and you sever them yourself, you can feel it almost immediately. And if it just absolutely does not want to break, that's fine. You know, don't freak out about it. Sometimes it means something spiritually and sometimes it doesn't. In this case, I know my work. I know how strong my hand is. I'm not really worried about it. But yeah, I let the ritual do the rest of the work. And usually I will put this in front of one of my spirits. To let them bless it and let them kind of carry out the energetics behind it. But this is a very simple ritual and it's very effective. This is something that I personally do a few times a month. Just because there are certain people that try to attach themselves to me or people from my past that I don't want to be connected to, things like that. You don't have to do it a few times a month. You can do it as needed. But, especially in spiritual warfare, it's very useful because people will try to attach cords to you for different things. And in my course, I talk a good bit about that as well. Okay, I love you guys. I hope this helped. I know it's a little bit messy. It's not as pretty as my other workings, but it works, okay? And again, if you would like to book a reading with me, you can go to sirensnectar.com/booking. And if you would like to purchase my course, you can go to sirensnectar.com and click on my packages and courses tab. Okay? I love you guys so much. Thank you. Bye.